We're here at Tesla, and this is the brand new Model 3. It's the best car in their lineup, in my view, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's start with the front. In the front, you've got the frunk. We've got fully automatic LED headlights. There's no buttons inside. I'll show you that in a minute. They come on by themselves. They go to high beam by themselves. They do everything by themselves. The front of the car is incredibly streamlined, and because it's electric, there's no grille to clutter things up. This is one of the cameras, and it's facing back this way. Unusually for cars with lots of cameras, and this has 8 cameras, 13 sensors, and an assortment of radars, probably just one. What it does is allow the car to see everything that's around it, and it's all displayed on the tablet that's inside. It's just genius. Not only that, this car is absolutely future-proof. This is the key. This is the key. Can you see that? That's the key. And to open the car, you can either use your phone app from anywhere in the world, so long as your car has cell range, or you can just unlock it by putting it against the pillar. By the way, that's another camera there. Come down here and have a sticky beak at the wheels. Can you see that? That's plastic. On that wheel is plastic. Now you can take those off if you like, and it probably looks a little bit better, and Tesla told me the other day that some owners do take them off and leave the wheels just as they are. Now these are 18-inch wheels. The other thing that I like is that there's lots of trim. There's lots of chrome. It is plastic chrome, but it's chrome, and it feels nice. This car looks, I think, luxurious. The roof is all glass, and it's 2 pieces. There's one over part of the cabin, and then if you come back here, come back around here, you can see that this is all one piece, and apparently this is the largest piece of glass automotively that there's ever been. I am absolutely not sure about this at all. The tinting stops halfway down, and so this is in fact your back window. The other thing that you may be interested in is, although this looks like a hatchback, in fact it's not. It's just a normal booted car. Well, it's a normal booted electric car. Now, have a look at this. This is quite cavernous, and underneath is the extra bit, and you could put another suitcase down there. We've got the charging stuff down there, but we're not going to use that. That's upside down so it doesn't roll around the boot. I think this looks absolutely super. And of course there's grips inside. You know how much I like my grips inside. Shut it like that. And this doesn't look a world away from her bigger Model S sister. Unlike the Model S, which presents the door handles out, this one you've got to push there with a thumb and there with a finger. Now, as soon as you push in, it opens the door. Now, the thing is, you can do that. This is electric. I don't know why you can't do it from the app. And I don't know why you can't open the glove box from the app as well. But you can't. You've got to do that from the button or from inside. Now that we're inside, you have to, if you use the key to get in, you have to put it down here in front of the armrest. Then the console is piano black, and it comes in 2 pieces. There's the first bit, a little rest for your mobile phone, and that's padded, and that lifts up. You can put your USBs through there down into the chargers that are inside. But really, what you want to see in this car is the dash, which I think is just superb. There's no instruments in front of you. Everything is here on this 15-inch tablet. Then we come to the fixtures and fittings, the trim inside. I personally think this feels premium. I love the speakers up here in the corners of the doors. The sound system is absolutely brilliant. And if you look up, you see this very dark tinted glass, which we saw from the outside. It's in two parts. So this front part is for the front seat passengers and the first little bit of the rear cabin. And the rear starts here and goes all the way down to the bottom of the tailgate. The seats, I think, look particularly nice. And the doors, I think, look luxurious. There's Alcantara or something like Alcantara in the middle panel, and the rest is all soft feel vinyl.
So let's talk a couple of questions about the interior.
Yes.
Vegan leather, and is that the correct word for it?
I'd call it vegan leather, and that's
leather?
That's vegan wood as well.
Vegan wood.
But you know, like I'm really betwixt and between. Whilst I appreciate the fact that if you use natural leather, it comes from a natural cow, and that's bad for the planet because of all the farting. Oh, hold on a sec, farting.
Ah,
that's actually brought me to. Do you want to make me fart? Can you hear that? I don't know if they can hear that. Make you fart again.
Wait.
Now
I'm going for the Falcon Heavy.
Nice.
And
now,
hang on, left steering wheel control. Now you can control the fart with your left steering wheel. So if you hit that.
Now also, somewhere in there, yes, fart on turn signal. So if I'm going to change lanes in a minute. Have you got it set up?
Yep.
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Okay, here we go. Oh. What I should. I think we've done the fart jokes now to death. So yes, you turn it off. Which brings us to the Easter egg menu. The Easter egg menu, you know, like for me, it's a bit of a waste. On the Model X, it did really cool things like make the doors dance and stuff. I don't see any need. I think you're only going to amuse your kids with it, and you know, kids will get into a car and they'll do it. But that farting's going to get old really quickly. Oh geez, that reminds me, I had a curry last night.
Oh, God. Look, your car's name's Steve.
I think you should rename your car. The driver's section is just here. Let's turn that fan down just a smidgen. Let's turn that fan down just a smidgen. Like so. So you can see here is the menu system where you go in to do any of the things inside the car that you're going to need to change. Here you'll notice is the dog mode, and this puts a big friendly message on the screen and keeps the temperature at a certain dog friendly state. You can see here that you can open the frunk, is what I mean. You can open the boot, you can open the charging port, and all of that you can also do from the app. The normal state is the sat-nav, but along the bottom is the buttons that you'll use regularly. So for example, it brings up the menu where you have entertainment, where there's games, the toy box where there's the farting cushion, which we will cover on the road. Funnily enough, this car doesn't have DAB radio, which I think is just kind of crazy. But you do have Spotify, TuneIn and other streaming services. It's also got car karaoke. Why you'd ever want to do that is beyond me. There's your radio and phone. So it's showing the phone is connected and it can then talk to the car. It's connected by Bluetooth and through 3G or 4G. The other menu, and you see this is fairly fast to react, which I really, really like. That's all of the menus that you could possibly want to get into. You can manipulate your lights, the door locks, and this also shows you what phones are in charge. You can lock your window. You can walk away. So with your card in your pocket and your phone in your pocket, you can just leave this car, walk away, it'll lock, the mirrors will fold, etc., etc. And there is your glove box opener. And that's the only place that appears. I think that's utterly mad. The wood up here, it looks like real wood to me, but in fact it's fake. And I think there's a market there for someone to come along afterwards. The other thing I want to show you is have a look at this. This is how you manipulate the fan vents. Isn't that cool? Can you see that? Yeah?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah? And you can see that you can also sync the controls for temperature, and there's fan and recirculate, so we can have fresh air if you like. And this is how you manually control what parts of the car are getting flow. It interestingly doesn't show up down yonder. I don't know what all that means. There's other buttons down here, and the thing that I really don't understand is why on earth you can't customize this menu yourself. Why it's fixed, why it can't be up here and fixed and auto hide like VW does. It just strikes me as very strange. Then we come to the steering wheel. There are only these buttons on the steering wheel. They scroll up and down and you push them left and right. And you can see here that the one on the right controls the distance to the car in front for autopilot and smart cruise control. And the one on the left does the audio and things like radio stations and so forth. So then we get to the controls, push the button in and that puts it into park. Down is drive, up is reverse. And when you put it into reverse, the mirrors dip as well, which I think is kind of cool, but that's not exactly uncommon. One press down once you're on the road puts it into smart cruise control. Two presses down puts it into autopilot. Of course, we're not moving, so the autopilot isn't working. It's a reasonably warm day. It's 25 degrees outside. This roof was, you couldn't put your hands on the inside of the glass roof. It was so hot. So there's a couple of different things that you can do to combat that. If you've got plenty of charge, you can leave the air conditioning on.
Yep.
There's also a dog mode, which puts a big sign up here and leaves the air conditioning on so that the dog's in a certain temperature. And you can also, on your app, on your phone, vent the windows and it cracks the windows a bit.
That's useful.
Yeah, so, and you can do all of that. And of course you can start and open your car remotely. So if your 737 or 787 or whatever has Wi-Fi and you've dropped me at the airport, I've got the key in my pocket. Oh no, what am I going to do? I can let you in the car and you can drive.
Yeah, there you go. That's fantastic.
Look, I am a bit of a Tesla fan, and not because of the car itself, but because of the entire infrastructure. So you've got a lot of things that Tesla owners have that other electric car owners don't have. One of the things is, of course, you've got access to the Tesla charging network, which is now a little bit more complex because this car has a different charging port to what the other Teslas have. But this also means that this Tesla can charge at other ports, which is important.
Okay.
Because this is 0 to 1 in 5.4 or 5.6
seconds.
5.6 seconds.
And
Yep.
3.4 for the performance. That's still faster than 90%. I mean, that's supercar territory.
It is supercar territory.
It's faster than every single 2000s supercar.
We-
Through some twisty roads yesterday.
We took this car out yesterday out to Picton, and honestly, on those back roads, this was sensational.
Here's an interesting thing. This is a rear-wheel drive car. So
Yes, it is.
all those enthusiasts out there, this is a rear-wheel drive sports car.
And because the batteries are so low, the center of gravity is low, and also the electric motors on all of the Teslas are very low, and it keeps all of the weight right down, and so the handling is just brilliant.
So here's a couple of interesting numbers on the car. Warranty, how many years?
4.
4 years.
4 years.
80,000.
You can ask me quiz questions.
Yep. Okay. NDC range for the standard model. What's the range in this car?
I can only tell you what it was when I picked up. It was like 380 or something.
460.
460, yeah. Because it wasn't quite full.
Top speed?
A lot. I'm guessing it's limited to what? 250?
225.
Ah!
Close. Battery warranty?
8 years.
Or?
160,000 kilometers.
Ding, ding, ding. Boot capacity?
Ooh, I haven't actually checked the boot capacity on this.
542 litres.
For without the bottom bit?
No, with the bottom bit.
Or with the bottom bit.
Now, one of the most important things is ANCAP Euro safety rating for the Model 3.
5-star, and it scored the highest on everything apparently that there's ever been scored.
Okay, suspension. What type of suspension do you think this thing has?
It's multi-link. It's multi-link at the back. I can't remember what it is at the front.
Double wishbone virtual steer axis.
Right. I don't know what that virtual steer axis is, but it's forcing me to believe it. Now, over those really horrible roads that we were on yesterday, I thought the suspension was actually not too bad.
Noise. Now, that's always it's interesting.
So we're taking off now, right? And you can just hear a little tiny bit of external noise, be it, the whine from the engine, very faint. But outside noise, like there's a car next to you, you can't hear a thing. Alright, performance, so like we're now doing, say, 70, and now we're 80.
Ow.
70, 80.
Help.
70, 80.
Please stop.
I thought I'd do it again. Are you feeling sick?
I have a sore neck.
Oh shit, you do too. Sorry about that. Well, we did quite an extensive drive yesterday, and I knew that the car did this. I said, why don't you go in, put in the town that we're going to, which is Picton, and the car will tell us how much range we will have left when we get there. And it did, and it was absolutely spot on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which I thought was amazing. So the other thing that it will do is it will plot, and you just did this before, you plotted a course to Brisbane. We're not driving to Brisbane, but we could. Now Tesla are going to give me a Model S early in the new year, and I reckon we should actually do that. I reckon we should do a trip to Brisbane using that planning tool. Okie dokie. 3, 2, 1. And there we are at 80. So I'm going to press down once, and now the the smart cruise control is active, and it's set itself to 70 because that's what the speed limit is.
Oh, so that's really smart.
Yeah, and it's allowing me to take my feet off the pedals, another Tesla up front, and the car's happily zooming along, doing its own thing. However, what I can also do is go, and now autopilot is engaged, and that means that the car is steering itself as well. So my hands are just resting lightly on the steering wheel,
Now,
and the
tell
car's
me,
steering itself.
do you like autopilot?
No.
Why?
No,
Alan, why?
I'm not. I just don't. I just don't like autopilot. I just don't. I enjoy driving.
I think the lane positioning was the one that you're not comfortable with, is it?
Now, to change the speed, you just wind the right-hand key up, and it raises the speed. And you can see here on the center dial. Now, this is the other interesting thing that we haven't mentioned yet, is this center tablet, which is divided up, and the driver's side is the driver's instruments.
Yeah.
So there's no other driver's instruments in the car, only this band here. And I asked Tesla why there's not at least a heads-up display. And one of the things they said to me was, well, this car is set up for self-driving. So it's just an update away.
Oh, there you
Now
go.
the other thing is that This car will absolutely get the shits if you don't have your hands on the steering wheel. And yesterday, even though my hands were on the steering wheel, by the way, I didn't take them off, but they were just resting lightly, and the car said, no, your hands aren't on the steering wheel. And it made us, and we had to, in order to re-engage, it said, no, you will not have autopilot for the rest of this trip. So
yeah, it actually turned it off completely.
Turned it off completely. Absolutely ridiculous. So I think this is actually an amazing car. There isn't anything I don't like about it. Unlike you, I wasn't pernickety about bits of panel fit, though yes, that's definitely a problem, and as you pointed out, some of them are made in a tent. You know, but hey ho. All in all, I think it's a really nice job with Tesla. I love everything about it. This takes only a moment to get used to, and then you don't even notice the instruments aren't directly in front of you. If I was still rating cars, I'd give this an incredibly high rating, but I'm not, so I won't. I think this is absolutely beautiful. As always, hit just, I'm thinking there, to subscribe.